Hello ladies and gentle beans, we're back again with some tech news and stuff, and I am about to make another excuse as to why I haven't put many videos out. My last video was 5 days ago, was me singing a cooch. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it sounded better. It sounded better to me. I know there's a bit of an echo on this microphone. I need to get some more stuff on my walls to reduce the echo. My living room is rather big and the ceilings are quite high, so that's why there's quite a bit of echo on this microphone as opposed to the one I was using on my headset, because obviously this one is slightly further away from my face. The excuse this today from why I haven't been putting out too many videos is because I have been absolutely hammering through Battlestar Galactica. It's a sci-fi program that I never really got into, never really watched. Obviously, from the name of my channel, Stargate was my big sci-fi go-to program, and I was sad when Stargate Universe finished. It finished on a bad note, and nobody really knows what ever happened to the Destiny. And I hope we do find out. I hope Netflix picks it up and that we get some more series of it. There is actually a petition at the moment going around where you can sign it, and hopefully Netflix will take notice and pick it up and carry it on. But we shall see. We shall see. But I am really enjoying Battlestar Galactica. I've watched the 2 miniseries, Series 1, Series 2, Series 3, and I'm about 3 episodes into Series 4. I have also watched the films of Battlestar Galactica. I watched those before I watched the series, which was probably not a good idea, but, you know, it doesn't really faze me too much. Never really watched any other sci-fi programs, really. Never really watched Star Trek, never watched Farscape, anything like that. But I'm trying to get into some more sci-fi programs. I only like to watch one sci-fi program at a time because they intertwine too much for me. I mean, my head just gets too excited about sci-fi programs, and I'll just forget where I am, forget what's happening, and I just like to focus on one at a time. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling about what I've been doing. Game in the background is Star Drive. It's in beta at the moment. You can get it on Steam. If you buy the actual game, you'll get access to the beta. There's a few bugs in it at the moment. It only uses one core on your CPU, which causes, obviously, once the game starts getting quite hectic, then it starts to lag out and crash and do all sorts of things. The only way to get rid of that is to save it, close the game, restart the game again from your save file. It's fun. It's a 4X strategy game. If anybody played Sins of a Solar Empire, it's relatively similar. There's a few more in-depth parts to it here and there. You can actually build and create your own ships. You'd have seen that on the screen just a few seconds ago. It's fun. It's fun. I'm probably going to wait more till it comes out before I do some sort of bigger videos on it. I really do want to do bigger videos on it, and I hope it's going to have multiplayer in it, because it seems like it could be fun if you've got two people on there. Anyway, we'll get on to what we want to talk about today. It's going to be relatively short because I haven't really found too much that I want to talk about. Really only one thing, to be quite honest with you. The technology news has been quite slow this past month. As of the 17th of April 2013, which was 3 days ago, the UK games industry faces EU tax break. Now, this has been around. It was supposed to be introduced on the 1st of April, but they've delayed it because apparently the EU wants to do an investigation as to how well it's going to do and if it's actually feasible to do. Basically, what it means is that 25% tax relief would be offered on up to 80% of games production budget, but only if the money was to be spent on either designing, producing, or testing the title in the UK. Now, Canada already has something very similar to this, as does France as well. But France has a bit of a limitation on it. France will only give you a tax break on a game whose development costs total of at least €150,000. That's £129,000 roughly, and $196,000. As I said, Canada already has something very similar. Quebec offers tax credits covering up to 37.5% for video game labour expenses, and Ontario covers up to 40% of a tax rebate for people who make video games, more or less, which is, when Canada did this, it saw a lot of people from the UK gaming industry move and emigrate to Canada to actually get that tax break and move their companies that made the games from the UK to Canada, because it was cheaper for them to make games. They got a tax break. They basically, more or less, got money back for doing their job, which is a good thing. It can only give us better games. If a company's getting money back for putting more effort into something, then it's going to only be good for us. Obviously, in the UK, if it's only going to be given to somebody where that money is going to be put back into the game as well, then definitely we're going to see better games. Or if you look at it on the other way, our company's then going to say, well, you're going to get your 25% tax relief back anyway, so we'll give you this amount, and then the rest of it will cover when you get your tax relief back. Are they going to work it that way? I should imagine that some companies will do, probably some smaller companies that can't afford to put a big budget into it, and possibly some of the larger AAA companies as well. Not as so much as we'd like to admit it, but they probably will. Like to keep their monies, like to make their monies. France, as I said, did a very similar thing. But as I said, theirs only covers a title that costs at least €150,000. UK is not going to impose a threshold like that. As they said, it could really help prevents it from being abused by non-commercial games. But I mean, to be quite honest, if you're gonna only do it on games that cost €150,000, you're completely shutting out indie developers there straight away. I mean, there's not many indie developers out there that spend €150,000 on creating their game. There are some, don't get me wrong, there are some that spend a lot of money. There's the Kickstarter that's around now is helping indie developers quite a lot, but the AAA people seem to be poking their noses in there as well, which is it's all good. If Kickstarter's there for everybody. I mean, if you don't want to fund a game, then don't fund a game. If at the end of the day, I mean, I've never funded on anything on Kickstarter, but if I ever saw something on there that I thought deserved funding, then I might throw a few of my hard-earned pounds at it. I was originally going to try and stick a bit of money on the Oculus Rift, but I thought to myself, do I really want to spend a lot of money on this thing? Because it's really only worth it if I donate at least £150, and I really couldn't afford it at the time. Now I probably could, because I've saved up a bit of money, but do you really want to spend your money on something that may or may not be there? That's the risk that you take, I suppose, with Kickstarter. But yeah, this tax relief, it could prove to be quite good for the games industry in the UK. There's been several people from when France introduced their relief scheme in 2008. The likes of Activision Blizzard, Microsoft, and Konami have all created jobs for the first time in their respective countries in the EU because of this tax relief that's happening in France. I mean, more jobs in the UK, that's something that we need. There's a lot of people out of work all around the world, and more jobs is always good. There are some people within the gaming industry that don't want this tax break, a lot of them being visual effects partners and stuff like that, and visual effects professionals that work on movie, televisions and video games. But they're saying that the tax kickbacks have caused instability in their business as a whole, because they're being put under pressure to work shift work to wherever the best subsidies are on offer. So basically that's saying the same thing as what I said before. They're being encouraged to do something because they're going to get money back for it. Now, in some ways that could harm what we love doing. I mean, everybody who watches my videos enjoys gaming, or at least most of you do. Some of you might just watch it because my voice makes you fall asleep. And just listen to me ramble on because you enjoy listening to me for some reason. I have no idea why, but you do. No, this could be quite good. I do hope that it sort of like resolves itself. As I said, it should have come into action on the 1st of April this year, but has been delayed. I really do hope something like this does take off, but we shall just have to wait and see. And a second note, just a quick one before we finish. The Google Glass, I don't know if everybody has seen this. It actually got shipped out to the people who actually helped fund the device, to basically, I say in inverted commas, the producers of the product, or the executive producers, should I say. It's people who fund something but don't actually do any work. And Google have said that if anybody who has received a prototype Google Glass, if they sell it on, lend it to anybody, or just basically let anybody else use it apart from the intended party that it's supposed to be used by, that they will shut it down and you won't be able to use it at all. So basically what they're saying is, if you've got a Google Glass, if you've paid £1,000 for this Google Glass, for this prototype, then you're the only person who's allowed to use it. If you let anybody else use it, then nobody can use it. Which, to be fair, is just completely outrageous. I mean, fair enough, you can't sell it on. That's fine. I mean, you don't want... I mean, if you've got a Google Glass, one of the first that have been shipped out, and you've paid £1,000 for it, if you sell it on, the chances are you're going to probably get 10 times that amount. So that's probably why they don't want you selling it on. But as opposed to lending it to somebody or letting somebody else use it, I think that's a bit harsh, that is. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that would like to see what it's doing, because they might say, well, I am going to get one, but I just want to see what it's like first. And it helps. It may help their marketing. I'm assuming they're probably going to lift something and not be as strict on it, but I don't know. Google seems to have put their foot down on that one, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens with the Google Glass. I don't know. I might get one. I don't know. See how much they are when they come out. All right, that's it for today, ladies and beans, and I will see you next time.